up fine. Every time you get it home, every time you go and spend another $2 to pass the $81 back dollars, all you're doing is effectively selling up fine. Not correct! Not correct! Not correct! Not correct! Alright. Take it in your glasses, here it is, what we're doing. Marching again. The three-sided program going on the country, fill out the local producers in favour of bigger corporations. But all corporations do is make your money. It's like all the government does for you, it's make your money. TPP. 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 I'm sorry? We want sovereignty! 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 Hey guys, you guys are all aware of the Trans-Pacific Partnership going on at the moment, passed through Parliament. Effectively introduced free trade agreement between many countries at the moment, including Australia, which, as I've said before, will effectively cut out the small man. It's all about the big man. And the big man's got the most money. The big man can invest the most. The big man is not you. You aren't even close to being the big man or near the big man or even friends with him. You're the little people that feed him. The little people that do his jobs. That's all you do. You guys need to wake up a little bit and understand that all you are here for is to pay taxes. You're collateral to a government that uses you to borrow money from reserve banks and international monetary funds. And then, when they can't pay their debt back, they take your money to pay for their debt. Because that's the way it works. I'm glad you guys are all looking at the moment. Shows a little bit of interest, that's good. But it needs to go far beyond just a little bit of interest. You guys need to start taking some action. You guys need to stop getting on your knees and begging down and giving up to the government, giving your hard-earned dollars away, tax dollars. All they're doing is selling your land off. They're selling your farming land to private corporations from different countries. TPP! TPP!
Not for me!
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 We're at Parliament House.
Who did you just run into? You, was it? Yeah. Wait. Did he hit you or? He just went. What do you say? Fucking so little or something. Oh, I was having thought something different. Yeah, so I was just about over this straight away. I see this man, I can't. I just seen it right.
Alright guys, now information out of Parliament House. Lawyers are probably still setting up, getting ready for the speeches. Anybody that wants to say something, wants to have a rant, wants to give a speech about the Trans-Pacific Partnership or free trade agreements in general, feel free to step up and have something to say.
Testing. So I just want to thank everybody for coming down, because once again we float something out on Facebook, ask for the family to roll up, and they do. TPP needs to be stopped. It is a secretive agreement for a reason. They want to slide it through without our knowledge. It is going to hurt us, it's going to hurt our children, it's going to hurt our farmers. We want sovereignty as a country. We are a sovereign nation, and we are not going to tolerate these secret agreements. If this goes through, we are not going to have choice in medication. They're going to patent surgical procedures. They're going to patent animals. This will destroy us as a country. These free trade agreements are going to take away what makes our country great. So once again, guys, I thank you very much for coming down, and I invite the next person to come down and have a chat.
Yeah, look, the good news is surgery early this year, start of the month, it's working good. Should be walking pretty good soon. Anyway, guys, it's brilliant to see at least a few of you here. We were hoping for a hell of a lot more. But this TPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, that the powers that be are trying to fast track into being signed and passed by parliaments around the globe, is what we're here to protest against. Are we? Are we? Is that what we're here to protest against?
TPP, not for me!
Apart from the secret club putting this secret deal together, whether or not we've read in the info WikiLeaks has released or not, nobody truly knows. Yeah, shut those doors, mate, because you guys don't want to hear, do you? You really don't want to know that we don't want a TPP agreement. As I was saying, apart from the secret club putting this secret deal together, whether any of us have read or not the information that WikiLeaks has released, nobody truly knows what the TPP agreement contains. Everyone is concerned about what it might contain, and if the leaks are legit, we're even more worried about the impact it'll have on everyone's lives if it is implemented. For me, any partnership or treaty that could possibly allow corporations to sue governments because their laws that are there to protect the people impede the corporation from making even more profit than the billions they already do, is something is not something I wish to impede on our own or any future generation. You've got Parkinson's. This brings me back to the Coca-Cola Amatil fight with the Northern Territory government over a recycling deposit. I brought this up at the March Against Mainstream Media. Coke won the first round in the courts, so currently there's no recycling deposit on each bottle and can or container that Coke sells its products in the Northern Territory. It appears the big company's baseline dollar profit margin is more important to them than the environment of the citizens who purchase their products. Here in Australia, we're pretty damn proud of our recycling efforts. Are we not? Are we proud of the way we recycle stuff or not? So Coke want to waltz in, they want to make their product 10 cents cheaper, but they don't want to wear the brunt of it. To me, that smacks as a company that knows its containers take hundreds, even thousands of years to break down and decompose. So their rubbish becomes pretty cheap advertising for them. When everywhere you look, there's a Coke bottle cap or a can or a bottle container that you know is a Coke-shaped bottle, That's just instant advertising for them, and all they've had to do is litter your entire countryside with it. They don't want to give you 10 cents back for doing the right thing on the environment. Much like the fast food outlet wrappers and drink cups that somehow so often manage to frolic freely in the breezes around the streets. But I digress. It's quite likely the price of pharmaceutical products may be affected. I'll touch further on that in a moment. But what do you say and do, what you do say and do or share on the internet will also be affected dramatically from the sounds of what the leaks have declared. Once again, if the leaks are correct, there's a section detailing a proposal to extend the time patents would last from 5 years to 25 years. And that means basically if one of these drug companies make a drug, they test it, they get it going, they make the profits from that for the first 5 years. Same with any product that's commercially made. Speakers, for example. Not currently. It's only 5. But they want.
Pharmaceuticals, they make products. The first 20 years they can charge what they like. That's what they sort of outlay. After that, other people can copy it.
It's only 5 years.
5 years.
5 years once it's marketable. They want to add 20 years onto that to make it 25 years. So anyway, what we've basically just learned there was that there's no free trade or fairness and competition in a TPP agreement because no one else is allowed to make that product to make a competition so that the product's prices can get brought down. It basically means that people have to pay top dollar for a newly patented product for 25 years before any other person or company is even allowed to compete by manufacturing a third-party or aftermarket product. 25 years of one individual company reaping 100% plus profit margins from every sale of its product instead of 5. There's something about that gives me a sickening feeling right in the pit of my stomach. A partnership is essentially about free trade that impedes restrictions on free trade and a partnership essentially about free trade that impedes restrictions on free trade and competition absolutely smacks of counterproduction. How many people here are aware of the equally secret US-EU, US-European Pact of TTIP? Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. Has anyone heard of that? I see 2 people that know about it. Obama started this one in January 2013. Basically, the TPP is a stepping stone for the TTIP. Without the TPP, the TTIP can't get through. The biggest problem we face with the things that stand right now is that everything at this stage is speculation. We only have leaks, not confirmed facts. Unfortunately, even if this partnership does get signed by Abbott and all the other countries and presidents, heads of state and trade ministers, it still has to pass through each country's parliaments. If it gets to that stage, that is when we'll gain access to what this TPP agreement is actually comprised of. Our best chance of stopping it from getting any further off the ground is to bombard each and every one of our sitting members of Parliament with emails, phone calls and good old-fashioned Australia postmail, snail mail, constantly, day after day, until they get the message that Australians do not want any part of a Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement in the form that Obama and Abbott are trying to put together right now. Since Abbott's coming to power, dredging and mining at the Great Barrier Reef was instantly reinstated. The Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority have allowed waste dumping in parts of the Great Barrier Reef, and 2 executives on the Marine Park Wildlife Committee, the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority, they've got mining investments to benefit from allowing the dredging from allowing the waste dumping. They're not looking after you, me, all the oceans, all the people, all the animals in it. They're looking after their own pockets. They want to line their pockets with dollars and gold. They want to take it all away from you. I know someone here that can speak a bit more on the stuff that's going on at the Marine Park, the Great Barrier Reef, problems in other areas of the ocean, all that type of thing. Emma Dawson-Spencer, if you could come down and have a few words, please. Thanks for your time, guys.
Okay, so I only just got invited to come to this today. I don't know much about the agreement, but I know I don't agree with agreements being slid under the door without us having any idea about it. I know that the fact that our Great Barrier Reef has been in severe strife for a number of years now, from a overpopulation of the crown of thorns, starfish, parrotfish, that kind of thing. They've been wrecking our corals, and it takes tens of thousands of years for them to grow back adequately. On top of that, they've just allowed the dredging of 40 kilometres of our Great Barrier Reef to allow coal ships to drive through, right through the Great Barrier Reef, and everything that they've dredged, they've just put through a legislation or law, whatever it's called, to allow dumping back in that same reef. They've allowed all of this and put it all through. It's been going on for months, and we've only been hearing about it for the past few weeks. They were supposed to give us 10 more days. They were supposed to only be put through on the 31st of January if enough people didn't kick up about it. We were supposed to have 10 days to be able to get enough people to kick up about it. Thousands of people called. They actually put it through 10 days early. This is the reality here. If we don't stand up and fight and tell people that no, we don't accept this, no, we're not your fucking slaves, no, we're not going to allow you to just shove this through. If we don't do that, they're going to continuously keep pushing through crap like this. Look at the shark cull, okay? We've got our sharks, our Australian sharks, including protected species, currently being culled. They currently have drum bait lines with hooks underneath designed to catch and kill sharks. Now, it is only supposed to be a shark above the size of 3 metres. Any shark above the size of 3 metres is supposed to be culled. It's supposed to be brought up and killed. They've already found tiger sharks under the size of 3 metres, 2 metres, 1 metre, females, what have you, caught on these lines as they caught them up, already dead. They've already been dead. And this includes putting through an exemption on the protection of these sharks, including the great white, which is supposed to be a protected species. This is supposed to be a protected species because they're endangered. They've only got about 3,000 to 5,000 species left. They are slow maturing and they produce few offspring. And they've put through an exemption to allow the killing of these animals. They've shoved it through with over 4,000 people rocking up in Perth to say, no, we don't agree with this. No, this is not how we want you to respond to 2 shark attacks. We want this to end. And they've just shoved it through. So you've got the shark cull, you've got the Great Barrier Reef. What do you think, if this goes through, what do you think will happen to the Kimberley? Or over in Tasmania, as we speak, the Tarkine, which is an Aboriginal heritage listed area, and one of the only places left free of the facial tumour disease for Tasmanian devils. One of the last chances for our Tasmanian devils to rebuild and actually survive as a species. They're trying to allow open cut mines in that area. You don't hear about that on the news. You don't hear about any of this on the news. You don't hear about the Kimberleys, which is the nursery for humpback whales, and also another Aboriginal heritage listed area that they want to just shove through and allow coal, mining, gas hubs, all that, and no one hears about it. Not one single person knows about the Kimberley or what was happening in the Kimberley, apart from activists who are automatically already researching into that. If they allow agreements like this through, we're not going to hear about it. They're going to strip us of our right to protest. They're going to strip us of our right to stand up and say, no, we don't agree with this. Isn't the government supposed to be working for us? I'm pretty damn sure the government's supposed to be working for us, but all I see is them stamping on our heads and acting like they know it all and they have it all because they have enough money. Thank you.
Up there. with it. Yep. You don't know me. My name's Andrew. I'm an anti-gas campaigner, unconventional gas, and have been for 5 years. The problem that gets me with this agreement, and because North America has signed a similar agreement, and Tony Abbott is at this stage to cut red tape, is putting mining agreements and gas drilling agreements in the hands of the state government. Our people who sit behind here, aren't they lovely? And to cut red tape. If we sign this agreement, what you don't realise is going to happen, that if our DMITA, our mining approval people, don't give the go-ahead to a mining agreement that the people have bought the tenement for on environmental grounds, this law enables that corporation to actually sue the government that stopped the mining exploration. This is a true fact. In Canada, which North America is subject to the same agreement, obviously, because it's good old American corporation shit who own the government anyway, which we're heading back in this stage here in this country. There is, I think it's Ontario, but I could be corrected, is being sued by one of the mining companies. The state of Ontario has been sued for several $100 million because they stopped a fracking exercise under environmental grounds in Canada. This agreement will actually allow a private corporation, if they think that they've been hard done by, and if they're stopped on environmental grounds, this agreement will actually allow that corporation to sue the mob in here, which is our money, for whatever they want to do, and that's a fact. And I don't want to correct the previous speaker, but this agreement can be signed without passing through Parliament. This agreement can be signed by the executives of today, which is actually the Abbott government. Guarantee it. That's all I got to say. Fight against the gas kids, fight against this agreement.
Yep, that's right.
And keep going.
Coal seam gas. What about the coal seam gas, mate?
Coal seam gas?
Yeah,
the greatest blight on the problem in this country is coal seam gas and, well, unconventional gas, which includes coal seam gas,
water,
tight gas, and shale gas. They're all the same, they're all methane.
chemicals in the ground.
Yep, we pump about, well, the mining companies claim that it's 1% of the fracturing fluid, but when you realise that the National Toxic Network claim that it's a great deal more than that, when they poke it down to the ground at about 40,000 psi and fracture the target area, they only, in coal seam gas, which is a lot shallower, they only get back about 40 to 60% of the rest. The rest stays in the ground. In shale gas, which is a lot deeper in the Cooper Basin and down the southeast, which is we're addressing at the moment, the target depth area is 4,000 metres. That's potential to cause earthquakes, and on their own environmental impact statement, they only get out 50% of what they stick down there. And that's before they stick about 6,000 gallons of hydrochloric acid down it to clear the lines, which doesn't come back out either. So yeah, there's carcinogens, there's biocides, caustic soda, you name it, it's a cocktail of shit that goes down the ground and you know, one frac in the Cooper Basin, if it's a horizontal well, we use 24 million litres of water, of which they only get 50% back out. If it's a vertical well, we use about 8,000 litres, so 8 million litres. So yeah, that's what they do. And it stays there, mind you, apart from the water usage, which is huge, what happens to the stuff that's sloshing around beneath your feet, which is full of chemicals. It's frightening. Get into it, have a look at it. and it is scary shit. It is, and we're doing it. We've opened up the southeast. If you draw a line about at Penola, horizontally across the southeast, best farming area in South Australia, and you coloured blue all the gas tenements in that area below that line, you would colour in the whole southeast, a couple of little spots around behind south, you know, a couple of pin dots below Mount Gambier. The rest is open slather, and the mining companies are down there now. We're going to try and give them a blood nose, and hopefully we can. We've got people working on it now, because we've got the people behind us down there, and they are people who, if you remember, filled King William Street with trucks one day. They're pretty passionate people, and they will stand up. We need everyone to stand up for this, because it is the greatest blight. We run out of water, no great artesian basin. We'll either deplete it or poison it. You know, all this stuff up north in the Arkaringa Basin, they're building coal to liquids plants that will use a total amount of water. They'll use coal gasification to power it and build themselves a power station. That means they set fire to the coal under the ground and take the gas off the other end to power their generators. It is filthy shit, and it will continue unless we stand up and do something about it. We've all got to stand up and be counted. If you all want to work out how you can help, come and approach me later. We are doing stuff down the southeast. We'll continue to do it. We have the people on our side, and then we'll take the Arkaringa Basin. This government doesn't give two rats rings about our children's future. I do this for my grandson. He's 9 years old. He's got a right to live like we live at the moment. But the way we're going, he's got no rights. And all these people in here who just cuss and tone us and his mates, they don't give two rats rings. All they want to do is get the money from the mining royalties and balance their budget, because they're too fucking incompetent to balance themselves. Pretty easy. So stand up and be counted. Thanks for coming. This is not my rally. I'm just here for make up the numbers. But yeah, do what you can, and do what you can, because these people need to be held to account.
Excellent, cheers man. Alright, I'm just going to lead off from that a little bit at the moment, because I've listened to a few of the speeches today, they've been great, but I want to bring it back to the actual root cause of why we are having free trade agreements and why we actually trying to pass a TPP. Alright, this at the end of the day comes down to a flaw in the system that we're running at the moment. It's got nothing to do with let's just get rid of the politicians that are in there at the moment, we'll replace a few new ones and everything will be nice and dandy, because unfortunately a country doesn't run like that, okay? A country runs off economic growth, which means job creation, which creates more money, like the gentleman was just here was touching on, that feeds back to these guys, that then they use to reset their budgets and that, alright? It's got absolutely nothing to do with, hey, these guys in here, they're not doing a great job, vote me in and I'll get in there and I'll fix it all up. That's a pipe dream if I've ever heard one, to be honest with you, because that's not how it works. Anybody here that knows anything about economics or banking or money or business or corporations knows that it's not a, oh, once I get into Parliament I'll fix it up sort of caper, because it's not how it works. Let's go hypothetical for a minute here. Let's say that I got voted into Parliament and I went, all right, you know, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to stop this. And I decided that I was going to start trying to penalising these corporations. Corporation response, or any big business response, would be automatically to withdraw their business from that area or that country, which then has the knock-on effect of unemployment, because the corporations and big business provides employment, which the government gets tax off, which goes towards economic growth. So to sit here and say that we can easily change this, that's pretty cool, man. I just thought I'd have to point that out, but that was pretty cool. Yeah, give him a clap. So the bottom line here is that this isn't a system that's been created over the last 10 or 20 years. This is something that has gradually been pushed to the level that it's at today.
over a couple of hundreds of years. It's not something that's just happened yesterday. Oh, this government's in, this government's bad. It's the whole system. It's everything that we're functioning off at the moment. That's the issue, all right? Because we can sit here and we can say, we'll get into Parliament, we'll change it all, we'll do this. But when a government and the actual system itself cannot function without these people, because these people, the corporations, the big businesses, they're the ones that are pushing this through, but because it increases their profitability, which in turn increases the amount of money the government gets and economic growth in the country. It's about job creation, okay? You create issues, you create problems. Problems need solving. To solve problems, you create jobs. It's that simple. We create our own problems because it feeds back into the system of job creation, which is good for raking the money in. This is what we need to understand. This TPP is a byproduct of what we have right now in Parliament. And it's not the people in Parliament. We have to get past that, okay? It's not the people in Parliament. It's the people in Parliament only do what the system allows them to do. Does that make sense? Okay? If they weren't allowed to go and push this stuff through, they wouldn't do it, because they wouldn't be allowed to do it. But they are, and they can, and they do, and they will. Alright? So, it frustrates me slightly to a little bit where I see these pollies walking around saying, hey mate, vote me and I'll fix it all for you. Go back to sleep, buddy. You ain't fixing nothing, mate. Because you have a look at the independent. All right, let's go to Peter Garrett. He was good. Yeah, he was good, wasn't he? Singing about, you know, closing down the mines and all this sort of stuff. What happened when he got in? What happened? Wasn't he part of putting in these pink roof bats that burnt people alive and electrocuted? Right, okay. So that's a perfect example of somebody that based their whole career, okay, of saying, I will do this, I will fight for you, and then got in and didn't fight for you. Alright? And that right there is a great example of what you guys should apply to anybody who is promising you, if they get into Parliament, that they will deliver you something. Okay? Because at the bottom of the heart, they might actually believe that, and they might actually have good intentions in what they're doing, but they're very naive. Because they don't understand, just like Peter Garrett, once they get in there, they ain't going to change nothing, mate. They ain't going to change nothing. Look at the amount of money that these big parties get given by corporations, by the tobacco industry, by the mining industry, by the petrol industry. You think a little man's going to be able to win against that? It's like a court of law. You reckon if you got $100 in your pocket and you go up against someone who's got a bank balance of 100 million, you reckon you're going to win the court case? I reckon you're dreaming again. Seriously. All right, so I'm going to wind this up. I haven't written anything down at all. I don't need to, okay? But the point is that please realise that this here, all this stuff that's going on, even the fracking, it's a byproduct of a corrupt system, and the system will not be changed by just putting new people in there. Because the government don't run shit no more. They don't. The only thing the government does is borrow money and then spend that money and then tax us back to pay back that money that they borrowed. That's all they do, okay? So let's jump back into reality for a little bit and realise that this pipe dream of changing the systems by entering politics to do it is a pipe dream, okay? We've got to start caring and taking care of ourselves, not the way Joe Hockey means, all right? What Joe Hockey means is, we won't give you jack shit, but you've got to somehow still provide for yourself, but if you can't, that's because you're lazy. No, that's your fault, mate. You've got to look after yourself. But if you're in the top 1%, I'll give you some tax breaks and shit. I'll pass the TPP through. I'll let you do some mining here. I'll let you do some dumping in the Great Barrier Reef. All right? It's got nothing to do with the people in Parliament at the moment. They're only doing what the system allows them to do, and they will continue to do it as long as this system stands. Anybody that says anything different, I think, needs to research it a little bit better. I'm going to wind it up there, though. All this stuff, byproduct of the system. Learn about the system. Learn how it works, and let's try and change it. Mainly through providing for ourselves. I'll get into that another time, the ways that we can maybe move away from this system and how we can start taking care of each other and less reliance on this system. because I don't think any of us should rely on this system when we don't need to, alright? So I'm not going to sit here and endorse it, but the bottom line is, all this stuff, byproduct of the system. That's it. Thank you. Have a great day, and I'll see you at the pub.